here because few students they take my classes as per their own timings. So today we are also going to start our new crash course test series batch at 4:15. So today what I am going to teach you, शायद आपने title देखा होगा, it is feminist literature. Feminist literature undoubtedly is an integral part for the UGC NET aspirants to study, though I am sure that you must not have heard the names, or even few, if you have heard the names, you might not be knowing the details of it. And these authors you will find in the UGC NET papers if you solve the original paper 2 and even paper 3. And that is the reason which I have always been telling all of the students that why students are incapable of qualifying this exam. And the reason is that you don't ever study anything of this sort in your MA English. And that is the negative point of the entire country universities, where they teach students MA English, but they think that they will qualify NET, and it is actually not the case. So just to cut it short and to start the course is that today I'm going to take the first author in the name of Dorothy Allison. Dorothy Allison. थोड़ा सा फास्ट ट्रैक मुझको चलने दीजिएगा, थोड़ा सा तेज हम आपको पढ़ाना चाहते हैं. बस हम जितना बोलें उतना हमको यहाँ मैसेज बॉक्स पे जल्दी लिखिएगा. हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आर हियर, जितने भी आप लोग स्टूडेंट्स हमें सुन रहे हैं, बस तुरंत ये लिख के बता दें, आई हैव हर्ड द नेम, आई हैव नॉट हर्ड द नेम. यस और नो. यस मतलब आपने सुना है, नो मतलब आपने नहीं सुना है, जिससे कि हमारा समय भी ना खराब हो. हम आपके साथ आगे बढ़ते हैं और हम बीच बीच में आपका मैसेज यहाँ पे देख लिया करेंगे. सी स्टूडेंट्स, डोरोथी एलिसन was born in South Carolina. She was born in South Carolina and she did her master's degree in anthropology. And being poor, born poor, white and the Southern had a great impact on Allison. And class issues constitute a major threat in her growing body of work. There is a memoir written by Dorothy Allison, and the name of that memoir is 2 or 3 Things I Know for Sure. 2 or 3 Things I Know for Sure is a memoir written by Dorothy Allison. Allison has written, in quote unquote, I was born trash in a land where the people all believe themselves natural aristocrats. Allison also addresses the issues of sexual abuse and lesbianism. You will be astonished to know that Allison's stepfather began abusing her when she was only 5 years of age, and her mother, silent awareness of the abuse, created a complicated web of pain, anger, and betrayal in their relationship. And one novel, which is her semi-autobiographical novel, known as Bastard Out of Carolina. Bastard Out of Carolina, published in 1992. In that, Allison has said, in quote unquote, in order to write Bone, the character I created, and to write her mother, and to write those people, I had to forgive them. And I had to forgive myself, which is the hard thing. Allison asserts that is her responsibility and debt to write the stories of her family, of the disenfranchised voices of the Southern, particularly of its women. In Bastard Out of Carolina, Dorothy Allison establishes a strong set of characters and places them in an authentic environment. She has created realistic portrayals of the young narrator Ruth N.A. called Bone, B-O-N-E, and her loving family. The novel opens with the story of Bone's mother quest to get the word illegitimate purged from Bone's birth certificate. And her very action causes the town people to snicker when they see her coming, laughing at the futility of her embarrassing quest. So this is the story of Bastard Out of Carolina. बहुत important work है students. बहुत details में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, because these are the things which are studied at the last moment, and that is why I have kept certain things for you to teach you in the last moment when few days are left, so that you may also be knowing all these things in short. तो अब हमने जैसे आपको नाम बता दिया, थोड़ा सा डिटेल्स बता दिया, अब यह आपने अपने डायरी में मेंटेन कर लिया, लिख लिया. Now you can further ponder upon these issues through your books or through the Wikipedia. कम से कम पता तो है कि हाँ हमें क्या करना है, पता ही नहीं होता स्टूडेंट्स को तो करेंगे क्या. Now I'll tell you the next author, Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou. I'm sure you must have heard the name Maya Angelou. She was born in St. Louis, that is Missouri, and was affectionately called by her grandmother Mama. मतलब माया एंजेलू को उसकी जो ग्रैंडमदर थी प्यार से उनको मामा कहती थी, MOMMA. And her name Maya is the childhood name given to her by her brother Bailey, B-A-I-L-E-Y, in his attempt to say mine. And her childhood was tragically marked when she was raped by her mother's boyfriend. And to her utter disgust, when she reported this rape, and then the boyfriend was killed, presumably by her uncles, Maya was overwhelmed by the power of language. She responded to the trauma and to her sense of guilt by refusing to speak. And during that 5 years of muteness, Maya Angelou read voraciously and reconciled herself to the beautiful power of language. And from that love of language, Maya Angelou has forged a place in American letters and has become perhaps our most visible public poet. And as an artist, she has a wide range. She is known, she is noteworthy. She's a poet, dramatist, actress, singer, dancer. And in her quest and desire for social justice, she has worked in the civil rights movement also. And in her later years, she taught at many universities and at the request of her fellow President Bill Clinton, Angelou read On the Pulse of the Morning. This is the name of her work. On the request of her fellow person, President Bill Clinton, Angelou read On the Pulse of the Morning. morning at his first inauguration on 20th January 1993. And continuing in her role as a public poet, Angelou read her A Brave and Startling Truth. ये नाम बता रहा हूं मैं आपको. A Brave and Startling Truth at the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the United Nations on June 26, 1995. And her association with Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure you must be knowing the name of Oprah Winfrey. Her association with Oprah Winfrey has increased her visibility and has secured her role as one of the most America's popular literature. And though Angelou is an important poetic voice, she's most impressive in her autobiographical work. माया एंजेलो ने अपने वर्क में, ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल वर्क में उन्होंने लिखा है, खुद की उनकी लाइन है, I think I am the only serious writer who has chosen the autobiographical form as the main form to carry my work, my expression. I pray that in each book, I am getting closer to finding the mystery of really manipulating and being manipulated by this medium to pulling it open and stretching it. माया की जो पहली ऑटोबायोग्राफी थी उसका नाम है, ये नेट में पूछा गया है, I know why the caged bird sings. अगर आप लोगों में से कोई ठीक से पढ़ रहा होगा तो ये नाम जरूर उसने कहीं देखा होगा. I know why the caged birds sing. 1969. And this autobiography by Maya Angelou has secured her place in the canon of American literature. Caged Bird is followed by a series of more autobiographies like Gather Together in My Name, Gather Together in My Name, The Heart of a Woman, and she has also written several volumes of poetry like Oh, Pray My Wings Are Gonna Fit Me Well. This is a volume of poetry जिसका नाम है, बड़ा लंबा नाम है, Oh, Pray My Wings Are Gonna Fit Me Well. एक और वॉल्यूम है, उसका नाम है And Still I Rise. Apart from these things, and in addition to a lot of children works, dramas, TV screenplays, Angelou has written 2 volumes of essays. उन 2 volume of essays का नाम है Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now. इनके जो टाइटल्स होते हैं बहुत बड़े होते हैं, बहुत आसानी से याद नहीं होते. Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now essay, volume of essay. और दूसरा essay का वॉल्यूम है Even the Stars Look Lonesome. तारे भी अकेले लगते हैं. Even the Stars Look Lonesome. And it is true that I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is one of the most familiar, most beloved of Angelou's autobiographies. जैसे ही बुक खुलती है, as the book opens, Maya Angelou declares, in quote unquote, if growing up is painful for the southern black girl, being aware of her displacement is the rust on the razor that threatens the throat. It is an unnecessary insult. ये उन्होंने लाइन लिखा है. कितना मीनिंगफुल लाइन्स है. अगर आप कहें तो मैं इसको रिपीट करूं, फिर से सुनिएगा ध्यान से. If growing up is painful for the southern black girl, being aware of her displacement is the rust on the razor that threatens the throat. It is an unnecessary insult. And this book is the testimony of that unnecessary insult and her journey beyond the pain and the displacement of her beginnings. When Maya and her brother Bele were ages 3 and 4 respectively, They were sent by train from California to Stamps, and their parents divorced and sent the children to be raised by their grandmother, affectionately called Mama. In Stamps, they experience familial stability, living with their imposing grandmother and their uncle Willie, and their lives revolve around their grandmother's store, the church, and their love of learning. And both the children are bright and love to read. And Maya falls in love with Shakespeare, her first white love. कितना बढ़िया देखिए यहाँ पे मैंने आपको वो बताया, शेक्सपियर से पहला उसने प्यार किया, और शेक्सपियर क्या था? हर फर्स्ट व्हाइट लव, ब्रिटिशर. सो इस तरह की चीजें आप याद रखेंगे तो कभी ना कभी बहुत आपको काम आएंगी ये सब. सो नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, again I'll just ask you one thing before getting into the next author. Just tell me that ये जो आपको मैंने माया एंजेलो के बारे में बताया, आपको इतनी नॉलेज, जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स लाइव हैं यहाँ, इनमें आपको कितना पता था? बस जस्ट परसेंटेज में मुझे बता दीजिए, बस जिससे मुझे पढ़ाने में थोड़ा आसानी मिलेगी. जैसे मान लीजिए आपको 10%, 20%, 50% कितना पता था, सिर्फ हमें आप परसेंटेज यहाँ लिख दीजिए बस. आई एम जस्ट कमिंग बैक 1 सेकेंड. Oh my God. 5%, 10%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 10%, 50%, 20%, 10%, 8%. My God. Now just imagine students, if it's a God's blessing that today you are my student. Otherwise, just imagine that where you would have kept yourself in that vernier caliper scale with your preparations. And giving you so much study material, test series, crash course, this and this, beautiful study material, entire class, so much expertise, so much in-depth knowledge. कहीं ना कहीं ध्यान रखिएगा, कहीं ना कहीं ध्यान रखिएगा, आपके होमवर्क में कहीं ना कहीं कमी होगी. आप मेरे सामने होती तो शायद हम कुछ कह पाते या कहीं कुछ कर पाते, लेकिन यहां से केवल मैं कह ही सकता हूं और आपको ये कह सकता हूं कि आपका होमवर्क कहीं ना कहीं कमजोर हो रहा होगा. चलिए नेक्स्ट हेडिंग हम लोग शुरू करते हैं. दैट इज डिजूना बार्न्स. डिजूना बार्न्स, BARNES. इसको लिखिए जरा सी. सो स्टूडेंट्स, मैंने मिस्टेक से शायद मिटा दिया है उसको. डिजूना बांस. She was born in New York in 1892 and she also wrote under the name of Lydia Steptoe. ध्यान रखिएगा क्या बताया मैंने. Djuna Barnes wrote under the name of Lydia Steptoe and she is considered as one of the most modern, intriguing figures. Early education she got from her father and then somewhere in New York, and due to many reasons her parents divorced in 1912. She began as a career in journalism, supported her mother and brothers. She married in 1917 and divorced in 1919. So ये तो आपका हो गया brief डिजुना बांस के बारे में. She is a short story writer, a dramatist, a novelist, a poet, but best known for her important novel Nightwood. Nightwood. She is known for her important novel Nightwood. और कभी ऐसे क्वेश्चन आए जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल, who was the great writer, a great poet who wrote an introduction for this novel? इस नॉवेल का जो इंट्रोडक्शन है वो किसने लिखा है? So the introduction of this novel by Barnes or Lydia Steptoe was written by T.S. Eliot. क्लियर? तो इस तरह से माइन्यूटनेस में थोड़ा सा पढ़ा जाता है. एंड दिस नॉवेल नाइटवुड ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल है, इज बेस्ड ऑन बार्न्स रिलेशनशिप विद द अमेरिकन स्कल्पटर थेल्मा वुड. ये नॉवेल किस पे बेस करती है? हर रिलेशनशिप विद द अमेरिकन स्कल्पटर थेल्मा वुड, THELMA WOOD, with whom she lived for many years. And the title is a combination of the netherworld setting of the novel and perhaps the name Thelma Wood is the prototype for Robin Vogt, the novel's main character. अब समझ गया कि नाइटवुड क्यों पड़ा इसका नाम? So Nightwood is actually a complicated story of Robin Vogt and her several loves. She meets Baron Felix, a man whose father stitched together his aristocratic heritage with old art reproductions and a desire for respectability. She marries Felix, accepting him as if her life had no volition for refusal. But she often leaves him alone and she goes out into the night walking. इसको थोड़ा सा नाइट वॉकिंग की प्रॉब्लम है. अगर जैसे कोई क्वेश्चन आए विच ऑफ द नॉवेल दिस एंड दैट हैज दिस नाइट वॉकिंग प्रॉब्लम विद द प्रोटैगनिस्ट, तो आपको याद आ जाना चाहिए नाइटवुड बाय डिजुना बार्न्स. ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं. सो ही रिमेन्स होम इन द हेल्पलेस कंसर्न. इससे ज्यादा की आपको जरूरत नहीं है. मांस की एक दो नॉवेल और है, उसको चाहें तो आप लिख लें। अ नाइट अमंग द हॉर्सेस, अ नाइट अमंग द हॉर्सेस, ये एक और आप लिख सकते हैं। Yes, a very important author, though she is a great uh, author, a great writer, and a great name, and her story is also uh, very, you can say, sensitive. One must know the entire story and the life of nobody else but Ephra Band. Ephra Band became a writer, and she became a writer just because of financial necessity. She became a widow, and this was the reason to meet two ends meet. She had no other way out rather to write for her financial needs. And born in 1640 in Kent, she spent time in the West Indies during her youth, traveled here and there with her family. When her father was appointed Lieutenant Governor of Suriname, एक बार क्वेश्चन आया था कि सरीनाम समथिंग लाइक दैट, सरीनाम वर्ड था और उसमें एफ्रा बहन ऑप्शन था, तो एफ्रा बहन इन सरीनाम, आप समझ सकते हैं कितना माइन्यूट क्वेश्चन था. आई एग्जैक्टली डोंट रिमेंबर द क्वेश्चन, लेकिन ऐसे ही था कुछ. And in 1664, she returned to England and married to a merchant of London, and his name was Behn, Behn. या तो वो जर्मन बैकग्राउंड का था या डच बैकग्राउंड का था. But her husband died shortly probably माना जाता है in the Great Plague of 1665, and she became a widow, thereby tried to enter the intelligence services of King Charles II, but unfortunately she was not paid sufficiently for her work. And in 1668 she was committed to debtors prison. Debtors समझते हैं, जिनका बहुत पैसा बकाया हो, उधार लिया हो, वो पे ना कर पाए हों, तो उनको जेल में डाल दिया जाता है. So she was committed to debtors prison. And this experience for a woman, you can understand very well. She began to write for money. The English theatre had reopened in 1660 by that time. Charles II की बात अगर आप हिस्ट्री याद रखिए, मैंने पढ़ाया आपको. The English theatre had reopened in 1660 with women permitted to perform on the stage for the first time. And she was the lady who created a lot of autonomous roles for women, presenting them with very complex characters rather than as flat characters. And in 1670, her first play, The Forced Marriage, was produced on the London stage, launching her on an enormously prolific career as a professional dramatist. After that, she also wrote the play The Rover. Then Sir Patient Fancy, The Roundheads, The City Heiress. And in addition to all these plays, she had also composed poetry, and some of it are erotic in nature. And if you remember, the Restoration's literary circles, the moral license afforded male writers did not extend to women, and Aphra Behn's subject matters created a lot of scandal. And attacked by the contemporaries of her literary and sexual daring, she defended herself in the preface of her play, The Lucky Chance. The Lucky Chance. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ये सारी चीजें हैं. जैसे ही प्लेस का मार्केट कम हुआ, as the market for the plays started drying up, Aphra Behn turned to prose fiction, publishing love letters between a nobleman and his sister, The Fair Jilt, Agnes de Castro, and Oroonoko, जिसका सबटाइटल है The Royal Slave. And her best known and the most widely read work today, Oroonoko, is a passionate protest against the institution of slavery, loosely based on Aphra Behn's personal experiences in Suriname. Written some 30 years before what has been regarded widely as the first British novel, Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe's, Behn's prose fictions helped to pioneer the new novel genre, now recognized by many feminist critics as the form in which women finally established a literary voice of their own. And within a publication of Oroonoko, after 1 year, Aphra Behn died in poverty and was buried, surprisingly, though fittingly, in Westminster Abbey. Although her reputation was obscured and tarnished for centuries together, contemporary feminists have heeded Virginia Woolf's eloquent tribute to Behan in A Room of One's Own. उन्होंने उसमें लिखा है कोट एंड कोट में, all women together ought to let flowers fall upon the tomb of Afra Behan, for it was she who earned them the right to speak their minds. And the play The Rover remains the best known of Afra Behan's plays. The restoration comedy of intrigue. रोवर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसको आप कभी मौका मिले तो उसको आप डिटेल्स में भी पढ़ सकते हैं. तो ये आपको एफ्रा बहन की जो मैंने नॉलेज दिया, हमें थोड़ा सा इस पे बताएं मैसेज पे स्टूडेंट्स, जो हमने एफ्रा बहन के बारे में आपको बताया, इसका प्लीज मुझे तुरंत परसेंटेज बताएं. 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 इमीडिएट बताएं बेटा, इमीडिएट. सी स्टूडेंट्स, फिर देखिए आपकी टेस्टिंग हो गई। मुझे बिल्कुल ये आभास नहीं था कि आप लोग 5%, 10%, 7.5% लिखेंगे। ये बच्चों गलत है। मैं फिर आपसे कह रहा हूं कि अफरा बहन जैसी ऑथर, जो मैंने आपको ब्रिटिश लिटरेचर में भी पढ़ाया है और मेरे स्टडी मटेरियल में भी होगा, प्रोमिनेंट ऑथर है, जो आज मैंने फेमिनिस्ट लिटरेचर के अम्ब्रेला के तहत आपको पढ़ा दिया, जबकि इसको पढ़ाना बनता भी नहीं था। और देखिए ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स ने यहां लिखा है 5%, 7.5%, 10%, एंड समन गुड दैट यू हैव रिटन 60%। लवली, बट मैं फिर आपसे कह रहा हूं बच्चों, थोड़ा सा मेहनत करिए और हमारे प्रयास को, हमारी मेहनत को, हमारे नाम को, हमारा नाम, हमारी मेहनत सब आपके साथ जुड़ी है। तो बस मैं और क्या कहूं, मैं बार बार क्या रिपीट करूं। चलिए, लास्ट ऑथर जो हम आपके साथ आज करने जा रहे हैं, आप इसका नाम सुनिएगा, मुझे बताइएगा कि आपको पता है या नहीं। रीटा मे ब्राउन। रीटा मे ब्राउन। हमें इमीडिएट ऑप्शन में लिख के तुरंत बताइए कि आपने लिखा, आपको यह आता है या नहीं। बस यस नो लिख दीजिएगा, बस यस नो। हाँ, निसर्गा, यस। ऑल ऑफ यू हैव रिटन नो। चलिए, again it will give you some more stamina, because again she is a big name and one must know the details of Rita Brown, Rita Mae Brown. Rita Mae Brown was born in 1944 in Pennsylvania, and when she was only 11 years of age, she excelled as a student and earned a scholarship to the University of Florida. Rita Brown's early works include a volume of poetry known as The Hand That Cradles the Rock. The Hand That Cradles the Rock. This is a volume of poetry. And a volume of political essays by Rita Brown is A Plain Brown Wrapper. A Plain Brown Wrapper. It is her 1973 novel, 1973 की इनकी एक नॉवेल है जिसका नाम है रूबी फ्रूट जंगल। रूबी फ्रूट जंगल। And this novel secured her a continuing critical and popular attention. And the success of this lesbian novel has labeled Rita Brown as a lesbian writer, a category she rejects as narrow and fraught with an insidious sexism. So she has said herself, for her, quote unquote, में उन्होंने कहा है अपने लिए, next time anybody calls me a lesbian writer, I'm going to knock her teeth in. I'm a writer and I'm a woman and I'm from the South and I'm alive, and that is that. So Rita Mae Brown's largely autobiographical Ruby Fruit Jungle is the coming of age story of young Molly Bolt. Molly Bolt. Story of Molly Bolt, who embodies the suggestion in her last name and does bolt from both the expectations placed on her gender and from her intolerant mother, Carrie Bolt. And her mother embodies yet another meaning of the word bolt, for she carries a bolt that she hurls at Molly time and again. The weapon is that Molly is illegitimate. And when Molly is only 7, her mother first taunts her with the information that she is Ruby Drawlinger's bastard. Molly responds with her characteristic spunk, I don't care. It makes no difference where I came from. I am here, ain't it? And this attitude reveals Molly's continuing approach to life. Her past, with all its shadows, will not overcome her present and future or the expectations that she places on them. So that is too much, students, to know about Rita Mae Brown. So now I will end my lecture here. And one thing more, students, that as you all know, that most of you have taken admission in the test series and the crash course batch, which is going to start today, which was to start yesterday, but because of electricity failure, we could not. So I'm able to see many students here, Anjali, Baljit, Febina, Matthew, Nisarga, Sahinur, Saman, and so many others. So 90% of the students who are here, who are here presently, which I'm seeing, they have already taken the admission in the classes, but there are many others who have still not taken the admission. So I have requested the Delhi technical team to allow each and every student today to see the level and the need of the test series and the crash course with how I am teaching, so that they may not feel that I have missed something. So now, after going through this class, then if they don't join, then it will be their their decision. But actually they should know that what is this class about. So OSN Academy with top rankers welcomes all students of this class to get into the new class today at 4:15 on that link where it is written crash course link, crash course UGC net. And I'll start today the new batch. Today it is free for every student from the top rankers. Thank you so much, students. So we will meet you at 4:15.